Hello guys, welcome back. This is Maverick here, and right now we're going to be watching No Guns Life episode 5. So, with the last episode, we finally, finished our first real arc of this series, right? And so Tetsuro, I guess, is now part of the team. I know, have they really formally said that they're going to form a team? I guess not really yet, but at the very least, we have our trio here, right? And if the opening is to be believed, this trio is probably going to be our main cast going forward. So, what is the dynamic going forward? What are they actually going to do for their day-to-day lives? And how are they going to continue to structure the story? Don't really know. I guess we can just find out within the episode, right? It's possible that they're going to continue their struggle with taking down the big corporation or whatnot, or, trying to do some other stuff. It's more akin to City Hunter or something like that. Don't really know. So let's just find out within the episode together. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. For those of you who watch my other series, don't worry, I'm going to catch up to them. I literally just got back from a business trip, so I'm doing various catching up. Mega arm statue. Alright, so we might be going into some different kind of story now. Not necessarily directly related with the corporation. Yep, Tetsuro and Mary are still here. Aye, it's the opening. Although I've been experimenting with keeping the opening in other series, since nobody has mentioned it here, I'll be skipping this. So see you guys in a second. And back. EMS. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about. Sorry, it's been a long time, especially since I'm on business. Right. We might be learning more about Juzu's past now, because I suspect that is military-grade weaponry, and I suspect that there is an agency or bureau taking care of this kind of situation. Right, the EMS here. Extended management. Extended. EMS. Okay, so that's the definition of overextend. But you can't use your weapons. I mean, that would make perfect sense, right? It's really akin to, taking an Apache helicopter or M1 Abrams tank and putting it into civilian life. Like, can you imagine if your neighbor drives a tank to work every day? Oh, that would be cool, actually. To drive a tank to work every day. You get shit mileage, though. What did he charge him, anyways? Hot pot. Oh yeah, they did help the sort of mafia. Hmm? Well, they did warn you. Ooh, nice. That's a pretty large crab. What's wrong with you? Do you have some kind of trauma of crabs? Oh. I mean, you didn't actually kill her, right? Right, trying to act tough, cool loner. Ooh, nice. Oh, your turn. Next event. Oh, it's the police now? Let me guess. He's going to teach him a lesson, and then the girl from the EMS is going to intervene. Oh. Actually, it didn't turn out the way I thought. Have we seen Scar? No, I don't think he's dead. Yep. Wait, so is he like a barber? Yeah, this is a barber shop. Oh, this is a girl in love. Am I the only one thinking of... Oh. I don't know, I just feel like cleaning my gun. Cleaning his gun. Polish... Never mind. Never mind. Well, that was sudden. Olivier. Yeah, you look hot, but your lips, girl. Yeah, blue lips. Oh, was he trying to create an opportunity for Scarlet? Alright. Yeah, why are you... How come everybody's here? Don't do it yet. Thankfully, there's someone who has some brains in this group. Oh. Oh, so that's how. Oh. 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 Hmm. Well, actually, I thought the corporation was already in cahoots with the government, considering that, you know, they control all the extensions. But I guess they still want to maintain a degree of separation. Hmm. That seems awfully... Hmm. Yeah, like I was saying, if a government of a country relies on a single corporation this much, and the corporation might as well be in control of the country, of the government. Alright. Uh, I think the other one is probably the one causing the accident, right? You gotta be one of the stupidest... Oh my god. Seriously? Ooh. Damn. Oh, so these are extended. Juzo to the rescue! He's military grade! Oh. It's... Okay. I thought it was actually Tetsuro that did something. And I can already tell this guy is probably going to be sort of a rival to Juzo. Wait, she's the head of EMS, he's the section chief. Yeah, she should be your superior. Hayden Gondry. Alright, so that pretty much answers the question, how are we going to be going forward with this? Alright, I'll see you guys after the ending. Alrighty, so this episode actually answers how exactly they're going to make the series going forward, right? And to my... I'll be honest, I am glad that they went this route because I didn't want them to keep on fighting the corporation. Like, you can always have it as an overarching, you know, main antagonist, right? But I didn't want them to always be in direct conflict with each other all the time, right? That would kind of get old quick. So, of course, here we are being introduced to some new characters, some new events, and so we can progress, you know, with other parts of, you know, other kinds of arcs with other kinds of antagonists, right? Although I guess that maybe in the end they will all still be linked to the corporation in some sort of way. And actually, I've made references to lots of different anime that this reminds me of, right? I've made references to City Hunter, I think it's also similar to Gintama, and of course you guys have mentioned FMA as well, Fullmetal Alchemist. However, with this episode, it suddenly dawned on me that there's one other reference that I kind of missed. Well, I guess you can't really say reference, but at least to me, it really reminds me a lot of this anime or manga or work, and that is Rurouni Kenshin, right? One of my favorite works when I was a child, and you know, even nowadays, I still feel like it's one of the most iconic and classic works there are out there. Although, as usual, I think the manga is better than the anime in that respective. But anyways, there's a lot of parallels between No Guns Life and Rurouni Kenshin, right? You both have, you know, as the main lead, sort of former legend in a former war or former conflict, right? Although I guess in Juso's case, he might not necessarily be a former legend, but like I keep on saying, there's definitely, you know, these overextended the capabilities of Juzo probably much more than, you know, we are being made to believe by all the other characters surrounding him, right? I do believe that he is one of the elite, right, of the war, even though it might be, you know, they might be more restricted in a sense, since the way they operate, they still require a partner to actually utilize their firepower and whatnot. But still, I think that, you know, he is way stronger than most people are giving him credit for. And then, you know, with these kinds of people, they're trying to live a new life, right? They're trying to, they meet new people that they care about, and they're trying to put their past behind them. They're relics of the past, trying to go into the future, trying to go towards a brighter future, right? And trying to put their warmonging or fighting behind them, and trying to strive for a better future with the rest of society, right? But unfortunately, the old life always catches up to them, both in Rurouni Kenshin's case and also in No Guns Life, because, you know, here in No Guns Life, he's literally been turned into an overextended, right? He can't really escape it, however much he wants to. And in both cases, they're working with the new government in place, or working with the government officials, although they officially operate on more of the gray side of the law, so they can't be officially recognized, but they are sort of working with the government, with the official authorities to help them in some more, I guess, pressing matters, or matters that are a little bit awkward for them to take on officially, right? And of course, due to doing this kind of work, we also encounter some characters that kind of dislike how they operate on this gray side of the law, and with their own unique brand of justice. So in this episode, we are introduced to the section chief, Kuronin, right? And in Rurouni Kenshin's place, I would say the parallel character would be Saito Hajime, which, it's just a really good parallel there, right? They both, they're sort of like no nonsense. They're very, very strong, and they eventually develop a sort of a rivalry with the main character. Although I guess, if the parallel does prove to be true, eventually Cronin will probably begrudgingly admit that Juzo is a pretty good partner in times of war and fighting and whatnot, and develop respect for him, develop mutual respect for each other, right? Even though they still, officially are sort of like rivals. And even in the very ending here, where we get the big baddie of this next arc, Hayden Gondry, right? Just the way that he's stylized and whatnot, it reminds me a lot of Shishio, again from Rurouni Kenshin. So I'm, sorry that I'm making all these references here. If you guys haven't seen it before, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But it just triggered a lot of memories to me, and I should have seen it sooner. How these two anime, or these two works, are sort of related, and really it ties back into what I've been saying since the first episode, right? This is really an old-fashioned story. We got a lot of cliches here, and it feels like an anime made in the 80s or 90s, with the character designs, with the character personalities and whatnot, and the way that the story and pacing is going forward, and the art style as well. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, right? Because there are times when I'm nostalgic for that kind of anime, and especially since that comprised of my childhood. So even though, you could argue that nowadays anime is more vibrant, more colorful, and there's very effective, although a lot of people hate CGI when used effectively, it's also really stunning to look at, or spectacular to look at as well. Definitely not the CGI in this episode, though. I believe the scene where the car went over the bridge was CGI, and that looked kind of terrible, honestly. But there are times when you just want to go back and look at this style of anime with this particular kind of artistic style, right? So, still, it's definitely reminding me a lot of this stuff. So whether or not it can actually execute it well, so far it's executing it pretty well, right? I don't see any glaring errors or something that's turning me off from this anime. So yeah, that's basically it. And if this parallel does again prove to be true, then them trying to catch Hayden Gondry would probably take them quite a while. And also in the process, I believe Juzo and Cronin will probably, work together a lot more, even though they might initially be put off by each other. So that's my prediction going forward. One last final note, just as a little bit of fun. I did find it kind of interesting how when the car bringing up the rear was flipped over off the bridge, Juzo called out Mary, right? He didn't say Mary Tetsuro, he just said Mary, and not to mention the old guy and Scarlet as well. So does that have any significance? Maybe, maybe not. Don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting, and I'd like to point that out. So, there we go. That's my review of No Guns Life, Episode 5. I will see you guys next week. Until then, bye-bye.